Alright, Oscar, it looks like it's time to review one of the highest grossing films of all time at $2.7 billion. We're reviewing
That's
Avatar.
right. Avatar, yes, The Last Airbender, the sequel.
What? The Last Airbender?
Yeah, The Last Airbender. I mean, the Avatar...
No, we're doing the blue people one.
Blue Arrow one?
The one with the girl?
You mean Jake Sully? Yeah, that's The Last Airbender.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
My name's Oscar.
My name's Carl.
And this is Who Would Watch
This.
Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film and then talk about the film and then try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're discussing Avatar: The Last Airbender, directed by M.Night Shyamalan. Currently has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 5%, a IMDb score of 4, and a Letterboxd rating of 1.1. Oscar, what is the plot?
The Last Airbender follows the adventures of Aang, a young successor to the long line of avatars who must master all four elements and stop the Fire Nation from enslaving the Water Tribes and the Earth Kingdom. Okay, that's the plot of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Is this the plot of The Last Airbender, Carl?
I don't think that's the plot of this movie at all. You know what? I feel like the plot of Lion, which also stars Dev Patel, has a more accurate plot similar to this.
What, this is similar to a Lion, or Lion is more similar to The Last Airbender in terms of story?
God, I think in my head it's just everything's very similar to Lion.
Yeah, every film is really a Lion-esque.
It is. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Lion King. The Line.
Walk the Line.
A Walk to Remember.
I think we've just gone to walk. We've gone to line. It's Lion.
I set you up to remember the Titans so well, and then I would have used Titans to go back into this. I'm playing chess, you're playing checkers, I hate it.
All right. Well, are you a fan of the show?
Right.
Have you seen the show?
I watched the show when it was coming out, and then I watched it all, I think, first year of leaving high school when I was at uni, and then I haven't watched any of it since. I've seen a handful of episodes of The Legend of Korra. Yeah. But yes, I like this show. I think it's good.
Nice, same. I'm similar. I think I watched this like first week of quarantine, and I was like, oh wow, it is still pretty solid. I remember watching Legend of Korra like maybe 3 years ago. I'm pretty iffy on it, but it seemed like it had a pretty troubled production, so I kind of give it a pass.
People don't like The Legend of Korra, right?
No, yeah, it's less like renowned, like it's less love for it. But I think if you're a diehard fan, you can get something out of it. But I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah, so because I remember your sister recently fell in love with the show.
Yeah, we were watching it. She was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh, you should watch it." And then she binged it twice in a go. Anyway, so yeah, that's the show. Then this got made about 2 years after the show came out.
Was it made mid-show or when the show finished?
It was 2010. The show finished, I think, 2008. So it was finished. It was successful.
Because I was reading up on this film. And so the idea was that it would be Lord of the Rings-esque and Harry Potter-esque. Which I think is wild to me. It really bugs me when franchises are like, oh, it'll be Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, whose Lord of the Rings first film runs at 3 hours, and then the first Harry Potter runs at 2.5, and then this movie comes in at a cool hour 37. And I'm like, if you're condensing a season of television, probably wouldn't cut it down to the length of just 3 episodes. Which
is crazy, because it's pretty much the plot of the first episode and the last 2 episodes. That's pretty much the movie we get. Is there another TV show that's been condensed to a movie? Has this ever worked?
No, I don't think it has. I was reading up on the fact that they last minute decided to do a post-production 3D conversion on it.
Yes, they did.
Because 3D was really big.
Yeah.
And because of it, they had to cut out 30 to 40 minutes of the film.
Hilarious. I mean, I'm not saying it would have saved it. Matter of fact, it's probably better for us because we don't have to watch as much. Well, it made $319 probably from the 3D sales. That's probably what saved it. But that's a $20 million. That's a profit.
Yeah, it's done fine. I would have tried and persevered on a sequel, not with any of the same ingredients.
You would have pushed for a sequel for this?
Yeah, it would have been like, cool, let's recast, rewrite, and not have any of the producers or directors return.
Let's make it a lot longer, animated, and I think we can work. Well, this is a weird step for him, because M.Night Shyamalan, had he just done like horror films and kind of like those funky $30 million films?
Yeah, I mean, his movies were definitely on the ups in terms of how big the budgets were getting. But this was $150 million. Like, this is the biggest budget he's gotten so far in his career. And he himself has said that he is not happy at all with how this film turned out.
Yeah, it seems like no one was happy.
Well, I mean, he also said that in retrospect, when he looks back at this Lady in the Water and After Earth, he's like, I really don't have a vision or voice for making films with such large budgets and so much CGI. He's like, I can't comprehend.
He had I've read something like not really conflicting but different. He was like, when I'm making this film, I was like, well, which audience should I make it for? Like young kids or like Transformers fans? And I don't know why he thinks those are the two audiences for films. But yeah, that's all there is. That's all it is.
Transformers fans love Scorsese. Scorsese always leans towards Transformers fans.
He's always trying to get Megan Fox in his films. He can't grab her. Scorsese's stuck with Leo and Robert. It sucks. Ugh.
Alright, so shall we go back in time to before we'd seen the film and tried to predict who we thought should watch it?
Yes. Carl, next week we're watching The Last Avatar, The Last Airbender. It's something like that.
Yeah, we could definitely do a song out of it.
Oh yeah.
A Ricky Ricky Wild Wild West, The Last Airbender's the best. Avatar to the Tar, HMR.
As you can tell, we're very, very skilled in rapping, so why don't we keep going on, Carl?
We are.
No.
Yeah, we shall. We're still in quarantine. I'm still recording in a little hut that I've made. Structurally, it's more sound, and my shirt is off. Oscar?
I'm out of lockdown. No one told Carl we're out of it. He's been shirtless and sweaty in his blankets for weeks. It's upsetting for him.
My legs are already have fallen asleep from how confined this is. I'm going to be in a lot of pain after sitting here on the floor, curled up like this for so long. Yeah. Guys, you're really testing my interest in continuing to do this podcast.
Again, no one's asked Carl. I'm in the comfort of a desk. Carl's gone, well, I've got to make a blanket for it. No one's asked you for this. You've shot yourself in the foot and then blamed the listener.
I'm doing it for the fans. This is what they want.
They want the audio quality of a man in a sweaty blanket shirtless. What's your thoughts on films?
Can imagine they're just like, oh god, that podcast really went downhill when one of the co-hosts decided to never wear a shirt again while recording. You can just hear the sweat and the hair growing on his body in that little hut.
Why did they decide for this episode to be videoed? All right.
I'll tell you, this lamp is the temperature of the fucking sun.
You burnt your shoulder. All right, stop. Wait. All right, quickly. The Last Ebb. I've seen it. Have you seen it? We've both seen it, haven't we?
Yeah, we both seen it. Did you see it in cinemas?
No, I watched it after I rewatched the show, and it was very angry to me, and it sucks, and it's upsetting, and I don't think it really is for it. It's one of the ones that's abusively not for the fans. I don't know who. I'm upset. I don't know who would watch this. Carl, I need some inspiration. Who would watch this?
God. Well, I don't know. When I saw this in cinemas, pretty packed, you know?
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I thought leaving the cinema, I think people around me were pretty satisfied with it, to be honest. That's what I recall. I remember that was like...
Did you take a survey of people?
Well, it's just like, I think you can tell when people think something's shit on the way out.
Yeah.
Like, you can overhear people negging it or trying to figure out what's going on or people being dead silent. But I don't know, it was like the height of School Holidays 3D film, lots of kids. I feel like a lot of people were like, yeah, they're into it.
All right, fair.
So I feel like it's for people that are like, oh, fuck, it's really hot. My kids are just getting really terrible because of the school holidays. Drop them off at the cinema with a jar of jam. Let them go.
Yeah, 3D glasses. That's a whole other. That's you wear those after the cinema. It's a whole another experience.
That's exactly who it's for. My foot is fully asleep. It's so uncomfortable.
Right,
I just
let's
touched it and I can't feel any of it.
You're having a stroke, Carl. Stop it. Breathe in. I'm calling an ambulance.
Burnt toast?
No, that's your flesh. That's your fleshy skin. Your bready, fleshy skin.
It's my fault. I'm really in a bathtub with a toaster. I've been told not a good idea, but I want warm toast when I'm bathing.
You just can't. The water just soaks the bread, and I need it pretty much fully crisped.
Ooh. All right, so we want to jump right on into it?
Let's jump right into it. Okay, so we're introduced to the logos of the film.
To the Paramount stars. They're water droplets.
Well,
That's fun.
I thought it was fun, and then the Nickelodeon was fire. I'm like, so all the elements. The rest of the credits aren't. So we got water and fire. That's it.
They didn't get the memo. I think people forget that back in the day, Paramount was awful at memos. They never sent them out.
Well, you work
So
there. You were by the mailroom. You never sent a memo out. You were famously fired.
Memos come to me and they go right into the pocket.
You had a large pocket, cargo pants, if I remember you wearing.
That's right, especially because they'd send them via email. So to have to print them out and put them in my pocket, big waste of time and paper.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to say it right now, you're one of the first steps of global warming. So it gets introduced how the show starts with, a bit of the fire, a bit of the water, but it's very slow in like 30 seconds.
That's what I wrote. It's super slow. And because there's no voiceover or anything for it, it's like, what's the point of this?
Yeah, and then you go, oh, that's weird. But then there's voiceover of the shows.
Yeah, and a fucking essay.
Yeah, it's an essay. It's so concise, the show one. It's going to be a lot of this podcast. Like, they didn't do it like the show. But yeah, it's just like this long-winded, like, here's what's going on in our world.
I know, and I'm like, well, if the kids show could get around doing that, why can't your $150 million film do it?
I don't know whether they wanted to be different for the sake of being different.
So fucking stupid. Why would you ever want to be different to the thing that you're trying to make that's already popular?
Yeah. Well, I don't know why you'd adapt something that's famously like good, other than money. Like, I don't know. You're not going to enhance it.
I 100% understand why you would try and adapt this into a feature film. I think it could be done, and it could be done well.
Mm.
Like, if it's given the right amount of time, in terms of, like, I think if you take a lot of the really good beats of the first season of the show and some creative liberty, and you give it to somebody that has a really good, like, pitch for it, they could do something really creative with it. You've given it to, like, M.Night Shyamalan, who seems to be the one making it, was, like, kind of like, I don't know, whatever.
Just have fun with it. Fuck it. I don't really mind.
I'm like, what did, M.Night Shyamalan's, like, towards the top of his career, how much is he getting paid for this? Like, probably tens of millions. As if you wouldn't give it to, like, an up-and-coming director who has got, like, something to prove, who you could get on the cheap, who would probably do something a lot better. I reckon if you were to get, like, Matthew Vaughn around the same time, he would have crushed this.
But then you got M.Night, who had just on The Happening, and like the lady in the water. Was that one? The water and the lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lady in the water.
Yeah. Goodness. Bit of recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I think it's their own fault. They must have signed him on really fucking early. Otherwise, there's no way that you hire him off of those two films.
No way. I mean, they make money, but like...
Like, he's never done an action film before. He's very barely worked with large spectacle CGI.
Now, hang on. Stuart Little was his first dip into the film thing. That's a monumental thing, Carl.
I forgot he was the one that was like, put the camera there for the mouse.
Yeah.
That's how you do the scaling. Put the camera there for the mouse.
Put it close to the mouse when you want the mouse to look big, far away when the mouse is small. It will work. And they're going, holy shit, give this guy Bruce Willis.
Force perspective. Ooh, could you force perspective, Bruce Willis? Yes. Yes, I could.
I could, into the afterlife. Let's just go through... This is the plot of what's happening. So we get introduced to Katara, who's played by, I found out, Brooklyn Beckham's soon-to-be wife.
Fuck off. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
Her name is...
I had no idea.
I had a little look. Her name is Nicole Peltz. She's a daughter of a billionaire, and she's about to marry Brooklyn Beckham. We also have, I think, the man who has been in the most films we reviewed, Jackson Rathbone, playing soccer. Who was...
This is like his 6th time.
Yeah.
7th time on the podcast. I'm contemplating that we shouldn't just do his full fucking bibliography.
Honestly, he must be, I'll say it right now, the greatest actor in the world with the worst management in the world. He has had so many chances. He must blow him away every single time, but his manager keeps giving him the worst shit.
He must crush auditions.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be mean to the dude. He's our favorite actor now, in accordance to the podcast. But judging from the 7 performances we've seen him in, I don't know why you hire this guy.
I mean, granted, it's been... He's never had a good chance. He's never had a good director go, like, here's how you do it. And we need to see him in something good.
Yeah, which is wild to me, because M.Night Shyamalan's kind of, like, known for being really good with kid actors. Like, a lot of his films always involve kids at the forefront, and he always gets great performances out of them.
Yeah.
When you look at The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, The Visit, even Split... Like,
I'll give it that. Even The Happening, Jess was probably the best actor in all in the entire film.
She wasn't playing a scientist, so I'll give her that.
True.
She was good. But yeah, so I think it's wild to me that I think this movie's full of some terrible performances by kids.
Yeah, this kid was just picked off the street because he knew Taekwondo, and they were like, "Well, you're gonna be a star, kid."
I feel bad for him. He's like, you're just picking me because I'm already bald. And they're like, yes, we save a lot of money for already having a bald kid.
You would not believe the cost of shaving a child's head. It's in the millions.
Do you want to know how much money was spent on The Fault in Our Stars for shaving heads? Billions.
John Green had to get a 40-second mortgage to pay for that fucking film. All right, fine. So yes.
Do you know how expensive it was for bald Shailene Woodley?
So yeah, we got Jasper from Twilight and Brooklyn Beckham's wife in like...
I do feel bad for his introduction because she picks up a ball of water that falls on him. His first line is, why does you doing bending always end up with me being wet and the guy's bone fucking dry? Not a drop of water on him. And I'm like, really? You're doing this to him?
He hasn't... they do him so dirty. Sokka's such a fun character in this. He's playing it so atrociously, Jackson. It's just...
Hey, he gets hit by a tail in this, and he's like, "Oh, it's trying to eat me."
Yeah, but he's genuinely terrified. He's terrified. It's not gonna me. He's like, it's gonna fucking eat me. Get me out of this, fucking M.Night.
It's like wild to me how quickly they just introduce everything and everyone.
Yeah, we're pretty much...
It's 7 minutes in, and they're like, "Here's Dev Patel. Here's Aang, pronounced Ung."
Yeah.
In the movie, is that right?
I think that
Have I been saying it wrong?
No, you've been saying it right. I think that's famously... It's Ong, Nicola, or Katara. It's like, Ong, what are you doing in the ice? Well, he's a little boy, and he's the Avatar. It's, we're pretty much smashing this out. All right, so Aang's a little boy. If you haven't seen the show, I don't know what this movie is to you. Right? Like, what are you...
Well, this is one of the most... Of all of the films that we've reviewed, this one's made over $300 million. It's one of the more popular films we've ever done on the podcast. So there's got to be an audience out there for it.
Yeah.
So I would assume most people know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And frankly, I'm not going to hold your hand and explain it to you because I can't be fucked. So if you haven't watched it or seen the show, go and listen to another podcast, a better one.
Yeah.
Or spend time with your kids, you know?
Parents shouldn't be listening to this. Sad people wearing no shirts and a blanket fort should be listening to this.
It's only me listening to this episode as soon as it's done. Should we start like a GoFundMe for this Jackson kid's career?
Yeah.
I want him to bounce back.
We need something, doesn't he? He's not had much.
He does.
But let's just go through it. So as you say, we're smashing through exposition. I'll tell you why we don't think we need to explain the plot. It's because the plot has been explained to us for 90 minutes in full detail, but it's such a mess still. But that's most of this film is just exposition.
Yeah, it is. There's so much exposition. There is so much narration by what's her face in this, Cora.
Yeah, Katara.
Like so much.
Yeah.
Every scene, Katara. Every scene is just stitched together with explanation of narration. It's so lazy.
Because in the show, they pop, like, most of the episodes, like, we're moving here, we're going here. Whereas in this film, it's like, all right, we're here, now we're here, now we're over there. We're in, like, different states constantly. The title cards are doing a lot of legwork here.
Yeah, they are. I will say, when Dev Patel shows up, I actually think he's doing a very good impersonation of the cartoon character.
Yeah, I think so.
In my opinion.
Dev Patel, again, like, great actor. So, like, done so dirty on this. It was right after what was it called? Slumdog Millionaire. So he had the world at his, he had everything, and he got put in this.
Yeah. Well, his manager would have 100% pushed him and been like, it's a franchise and you've just been in a big film, so hop straight into a franchise.
Yeah.
Like, I think, honestly, if there's only one movie I can watch this year, it's The Green Knight. So I think we all are aware that Dev Patel's bounced back very easily.
Oh, Dev Patel! Everyone, if you're in Skins, you're gonna be a star. It's the Disney Channel of like 2010. If you were in Skins, you're big. You're gonna be a huge.
And I think I was making a gag out of Lion, but I got to tell you, Lion's fucking great.
Lion's
everybody
fantastic.
Should see Lion.
His Australian
Lion's
accent
phenomenal.
is great.
Oh my, it's better than mine.
Yeah.
And I'm Australian.
Yeah, it's better than mine, and I'm putting mine on constantly. No.
Because you're cockney.
I'm a bit cockney, all right? All right, let's talk about it. So, we're going in. Aang's on the boat with Zuko. Now, Zuko wants to get the Avatar. So, should I keep doing this bit, Carl? Is it working?
Cut it. Cut this bit.
Cutting the bit. All right. I'm going to slow back into my accent. See, seamless. So effortless.
Flawless. Absolutely flawless. Do I give you the Oscar now?
I am one.
So anyway, Aang gets given these 3 or 4 tests or whatever. Lame fucking tests.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, here's some water on the table. Twirl it. And he's like, all right. And then he's like, can I go now? And they're like, we should have said, but if you pass the test, you failed. And I'm like, cool. So what does he do? He just fucking floats away.
Yeah. Should we talk about
absolute ease?
Should we talk about the air bending and the fire bending in this? It's very in the show. It's like
it's all bad.
In the show, it's like a hand, and it's like, there's some air. In this, they have to do like a whole set of karate, and then they are allowed to do a little fart out their hands.
Who made that decision that they would have to do an entire dance routine before there's any power? In the show, it's like their power is an extension of the body movement. Like we see it later. There's like 30 people doing a dance move. All it does is levitate a rock.
Oh, that's probably the funniest part of the film, isn't it? There's like 7 guys like, ha, 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 this tiny pebble floats across the screen. Should we let's just...
And the rock doesn't even hit him. It doesn't even do any damage.
No, that's the worst part. Another guy has to then push the rock into them. All right.
Yeah, all of it's been done by the physicality. In the end, it's like they've just shown why it's stupid to have superpowers.
Yeah, essentially. Who would watch this? Someone that wants superpowers? Like, it's not for me.
And we should talk about the way that, like, it's directed, because a lot of it's done in these very long, slow sorts
like
of
mid shots, like handheld.
Yeah.
And like, you know how like people criticize cutting like on action? It's like, it's lazy, you don't know what's going on. In this, you know what's going on, and I wish I didn't. It's so bland.
Also, I I was looking at how like all of the action sequences are animated in the original one, and they're short and sharp, and I don't know why you wouldn't have done them in the same style as they are here.
It's like it's like 300. Like it's filmed like 300. You know those like Zack Snyder long shots, but it's kind of impressive, like slow mo, then quick action. But it's Avatar: The Last Airbender, so it's just like wind, walking, fire.
It's like it's just the amount of time it takes like a full minute to conjure wind, and by then somebody's already moved to the left.
I think a sword is the greatest weapon in this world. It seems like it's a goddamn...
I know, why does nobody have a fucking sword? By the end of the movie, I didn't even remember them being in it, but there's giant lizards, and I was like, if you just own giant lizards, I think you've won.
Yeah.
That's how worthless bending is in this film.
Oh, my favorite thing is in England, because for some reason they don't like say
Do
airbender.
they do this in England?
Sorry, yeah, this is an English tradition. Should I bring the Cockney accent? It's come back already. I'm so happy. No, in England, because you know how they don't say airbender, they just call them benders.
Yeah.
In England, everyone was like in raucous of laughter because everyone's just on the screen going, "Ang, you're a bender." Anyway, so we're running through things real quickly. Aang escapes the boat. Zuko's like, get him. Sokka and Katara are like, hey, we've just met you. We're not too big of fans. We're going to leave our mother and our village to go traveling with you.
They're like, we love your look. We love the arrow. We love the bald head. I'm going to place everything on protecting you.
Yeah, this is pretty much my mission in life. My grandma... Should we talk about the race elephant in the room?
Yeah, go for it, because this is one of the other controversies of
the big controversies. I think it's weird because M.Night has like hired like a lot of like native people for like the background characters. But then like Katara and Sokka are these white characters with like a white grandma living in this super ethnic village. It's very weird.
Do we not think that it was almost definitely studio mandated that they have like Caucasian leads?
Oh, 100%. It's 2010. They're like, well, white sells. And then 2 years later, went, oh, goodness gracious me. All right, we'll make him ethnic next time.
Do we want to get to the part where he finds out it's been 100 years since he got frozen in the ice?
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, it's been 100 years since you got frozen in the ice.
And there you go. And what he sees like a pile of bones. I'll say this to M. Night. I think we've talked about this like last episode. He can do horror. I don't know why he didn't do horror in this scene. It's like a pile of bones. Aang's like, Drat, I'm angry. And then Katara's like, just settle.
I can only imagine if he did do it and they did the test screening and they were like, that one sequence is fucking horrifying. Why is that in here? But absolutely terrifying.
Do you remember Alice in Wonderland?
The wind comes in. Sorry, go on.
The Tim Burton one with Alice in Wonderland with that fucked up head scene where Alice is jumping on those two. What was that, Tim? You can't. I bet it sticks with me. I feel like he should have gone real mental. Could have had proper dead people in that scene. Would works a bit better.
Yeah, what's it called? The other thing that I will say is like I do think like visually they've spent the money on this. Like all the locations they're on location for, and you can like see it. Or like the sets that they interact with are pretty like
ornate. All the
pretty
art,
big sets.
All the art design's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I'm like as we said, I think there's like very good imagery in like The Happening and a lot of other M. Night Shyamalan stuff that I'm like, you can see that he does have like a visual eye. He's just not very good at action.
No.
And he's never like the only action sequences he's ever really done are in those Unbreakable films. And they're all done to be like comic book panels. So the slow one mid shots of them make sense.
Yeah.
And they suit the style the rest of that film actually has. But they don't suit anything going on here. We can just get to the part where like it turns out they've just got all of the earthbenders just like chilling.
In a jail.
Right?
Well, I say jail.
In like a jail.
It's like a dirt mutt. But it's like covered in earth.
I know.
I don't know why they don't revolt.
That's what I was like, why don't you guys revolt? There's like 2 guards. and you're all there, and you're like, we just submitted.
Yep.
Like,
well, I'll have a bit of a rant. So in the show, they can make fire from their hands. In this one, they need like a bucket of fire next to them to use the fire. If it rains, they've won. I don't know how the Earth... They're so like, well, they got us here. All we have is mountains of dirt. Can't really do anything about that, really, can we? I guess we'll sit here and let it happen. They deserve to be arrested.
The word Airbender, like the Airbender nation is like one of the 4 nations, right?
Yes.
Yes. So if you're an Airbender, can't you just do all of it anyway? Can't you just bend water with air, or bend fire with air, or bend earth with air?
I guess if there was a
like,
rock, you could push the rock, yes. Fire, you might blow out fire. Water, I guess you could just push water. It's pretty decent to be an Airbender.
Yeah, like it's clearly the best of the 3.
Well, that's
especially if you've got to walk around with either earth, fire, or water on you to have your powers even work.
You'd hate to be in a peaceful society and be a firebender. There's really not much. You'd have to really get into smoking or something.
Yeah, there's like a part towards the end where like Dev Patel has to break into an area and he's still got to carry a giant fucking torch.
Yeah. That I don't...
Where'd you get that torch from? You came from the water.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, so Aang like pretty much does his speech. He's like, hey guys, you don't have to be enslaved. And they're like, all right, let's do an uprising.
What?
A small child spoke
What do you
to us.
mean?
And then we get like a montage.
He's bald. Listen to him. He's like Professor X. Oh, actually, hang on. So before we move on from the scene that has all of those people levitating like a fucking pebble,
Yeah.
right? The Jasper from the Twilight films just goes up to the one guard they're trying to overpower and beats the shit out of it.
Oh.
Which just proves that fighting is just quicker and easier than using any of your powers. Like, it was so quick and simple. He's like, you're free, and I did it with my bare hands, you fucking idiots.
Why do an interpretive dance when you can just fucking king hit someone from the back? It will be a lot more efficient.
Oh my god, there's like a part where they dance for so long. You just go up and stab them really quick, just shank them twice in the chest and they're done.
They're done. That dance is over. They're not fucking like going, well, let me just get this pirouette going. No, you're fucking down for the count, mate.
Hang on, I'm craning. Nah, I've chopped off your leg. Like, you're just fucking done, mate.
Yeah, Chelsea dagger across the face. It's going to be right about that.
So we also get, like, Dev Patel's backstory. Which is so quickly done in this film that it's hilarious.
It's hilarious, but it's also the funniest. I've never seen this in a film where in the film, Zuko's like, hey boy, come over here. What's my story? And then a kid's like, all right, well, let's go through it. All right, you were Prince the Fire Lord's son. You disrespected him. He banished you. Now you're looking for the Avatar. Can I go now? He's like, yep, good boy. Now off you pop. And then
I know, and then some other person in the background's like, boy, come over here. What's my story? They're like, ugh, all right, so you were imprisoned for necrophilia. Oh my god. Why does this boy know this?
He's on a date.
He's like, I'm trying to get laid here. Why would you come over? He's like, you told me to tell you your story.
I've got more information.
She's got chlamydia.
Yeah.
I know her story.
Her tragic backstory. She did Subway commercials. Yeah, it's not good.
I love the idea that there were earthbenders, firebenders, airbenders, waterbenders, and then boys that knew stories. The most powerful nation of them all.
The 5 nations lived in harmony. And when that boy started saying some shit, well, he got a fucking sword to the throat. No fucking bender was going to deal with that.
Yeah, so that's his backstory. They're like, they do some foreshadowing because they think they're going to have a sequel about his sister. And they, they're like, oh, and so he got angry and disfigured his son. And then who they did dirty in this is the uncle, who's so much fun in
he's
cartoon.
Famously one of the greatest characters ever. And
because he's powerful and cool.
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, I'm not, listen, he's done him dirty, but I feel like I actually don't mind him so much. He's definitely not like amazing.
They've done him dirty in his characterization. I think the actor's fine.
Yeah.
I think he would have pulled off the role had he been given a better character.
He's given
in
like
terms of
4
what it was
lines, and one of them is just kidnapping a boy, so it's not great.
We get like 43 minutes into the film. There's pretty much been no action so far, considering it's like an action fantasy.
Yeah, it's
halfway through.
It's been a 43-minute dump of exposition, which is weird for if you're not a fan of the show, it feels very boring. If you're a fan of the show, you're like,
it feels even more boring.
Yeah, because you know this stuff, and they're just handling it poorly.
So Aang starts talking to a dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know the vision they've decided to do with this. It's just like blurry, stocky. I don't know what it is. It looks like it's from like...
It's a screensaver when you're drunk. That's pretty much the visuals of that. And they're like, well, that's the spirit world. Aang gets split off from Katara and like Sokka, and he's just chatting to a dude, an old man, because he goes to the another air temple to find out about his history, which isn't explained, but that's what he's doing. Yeah, an old man's like, hey man, you want to know about the airbenders? Come with me. I've got a room to show you. Thank God it's a statue room. Lucky us. So yeah, he's like, oh, here's all the statues of the old avatars. Pretty neat, huh? But I got a trick to tell you. I got a knife, and here's the Fire Nation. They're gonna freaking get you, boy. I'm sorry, but you made me poor. Which I think projecting onto this little kid. Like, it's been 100 years been gone. He should have fucking, like, I don't know, worked harder.
I think he's like, cause you left, I put all my money in Bitcoin. And that's on you. I put it all on Doge.
I've been gambling and smoking, and now I've been... My wife left me because of you, Aang the Last Airbender, you piece of shit.
You made me an alcoholic. How? I don't know, but it feels like it's on you. It feels like
you, small child. I know you. You also made me kill that dude, and that wasn't cool.
I'm surprised he wasn't just around being like, hey, young Aang boy, come over here. Tell me my story.
I'm
not one of those guys.
I'm not the Avatar, but I haven't mastered that ability yet. That's pretty tight, though, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the most famous ability. Come on, we haven't even conquered knives yet. All right, you just keep it easy with your boys and the stories.
All right. So the first part of the film is the first 2 episodes, about 40 minutes. The last is the last 2 episodes. In the middle now, they're condensing. I think there's 24 episodes in a season. So this is, what's that? 18 episodes condensed into 20 minutes. So they decide to do the episode where Aang is captured and the blue mask kid frees Aang. We find out it's Zuko. Gives a bit of like...
Which is like one of the best action sequences, in my opinion, in the entire show.
Yeah, it's terrific.
So I get why they would want to do it. Seeing it here, live adaptation. I was like, this is what you're giving me? Yikes.
They do this lame scene. So essentially, like, Zuko frees him, and they go into like this like set of blinds, like in a circle that you use for training. I shit you not. One guy, Aang does the blinds, and one guy stands and twirls in a circle twice, and then falls over. And it's just, it's so upsetting. It's such an unupsetting...
He was dizzy, Oscar. He was very dizzy.
My mistake. 4 out of 5. This...
I forgot about the Dizzy Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Nausea. Oh, no, they've given me nausea.
Oh, that's right. The 6 nations, the small boys that know your past and present and future, and the people that make you kind of nauseous. You can't underestimate them. They have to do a 4-minute interpretive dance to make you just grab a Panadol.
They have the power of the back seat of a car, or if you travel backwards on a train.
Or if you're reading while traveling, you're going to feel like this dude. But yeah, but this film's strange, because like in the show, it kind of makes sense. It's like, hey, Zuko's a bit more deep than he lets on. But in this movie, you're just confused, because it's like, Zuko's the bad guy for 40 minutes, saves the Avatar. It's like, oh, okay. And then he's being a bad guy again. Because
it ends on that note of... Oh, no, we don't have to get to it yet. Anyway, so they just decide to go to, like, the ice place. We can jump to that.
Yeah.
So they go to the ice place, and I don't know why, but all of a sudden, the narration between the scenes is just, like, a man setting up scenes so concisely And I was like, how fucking lazy have you become that you haven't even got the chick narrating anymore?
No, they couldn't get her in for
doing
narrating. It was too expensive. Yeah, so they just
I'm gonna I'm gonna call out the fact that I don't think you know what I'm talking about, because as it turns out, for the next 20 minutes I watched this movie with audio descriptor on. And I thought it was a choice by the director. And I was like, what a waste, because then there'd be two people narrating at once. And I was like, wait a minute, maybe it's me that's gone afoul here.
No, that was in my film as well. I think we can critique the film for 20 minutes at the end.
I have notes upon notes of me slandering this film for having a male narrator all of a sudden, only for me to go, oh, I've got it on audio descriptor. That's all of my notes. That's all I focused on. I have nothing up until the end when I realized there was action happening, and there's a guy like he opens the water tube. Like I was like, wait, what?
This film fucking sucks. It's all in French, and I just don't get why they would choose this as a creative choice.
This is like, but I mean, what a fucking downfall on the movie that I myself went, oh, of course they've made this dumb decision. Like,
that's true. Honestly, that's true. If a film. If a film allows you to something, if your TV just suddenly turns off during the film and you go, well, that's a creative decision they've made. That's on the film.
I like to, because I used to work at a cinema when I was in high school, and one of the things that happened when they were screening James Cameron's Avatar was they accidentally put the reel on backwards.
Gotcha.
Which meant that the picture was actually upside down.
Yeah.
And nobody came out and complained for a near sold out screening, because the reel's about 20 minutes, so then it goes back to the other one.
Yeah.
Where it went back to normal. And everyone was like, what an odd directing choice. And everyone was just talking about that on the way out, and people were just like, no, what do you mean?
Wait, does that perfectly line up for when they get to like Navi? Where's the planet they're called?
Yeah, people just thought that it was what was like happening in that village, was that everything's just upside down.
Again, a bit more of a fault on Avatar. That I guess Avatar has a trend of just, if it fucks up, you're like, well, I guess it's part of the film. How avant-garde of James Cameron.
I love how much people will go with something just to not get up and complain. They're like, well, clearly this is a decision. I'm not going to lift a finger.
I can critique it, though. This is my choice. Well, I tell you what, why don't you critique the film as if this was a creative choice? What are some of your notes?
I fucking lost it at this. They go to an ice place, then the main narrator, who is now a male, stiffly goes, later, a man shows everybody a map. It cuts to a man showing everybody a map. What absolutely pointless narration. He then just explains where people are chatting. These two characters walk near columns as they talk. What is the point of this narration? Where has the chick gone? At this point, I've realized I have audio descriptor on.
All right, I'll fill you in for what Carl missed while he was angry at the voice to text. Oh, okay, so they go to the Fire Nation. A princess immediately falls in love with Sokka. That will come back. The dragon says kill.
There's just like a weird scene where the guy and the princess are like flirting with one another, and he's like, let's pretend what it's like if you were to meet my grandmother. And he's like, I'll be the grandmother. You be you.
And she's like,
oh,
weird role play, but it kind of works, don't you think?
Yeah. She's like, and then what would your grandmother say? And he's like trying to be all cutesy, but it's like, she'd be like, why's your hair so fucking white?
Why?
She'd be like, I was I was born with it. Oh, you slut.
Oh, you slutty white-haired whore. Bet you want it. I'm grandma and get a fucking load of this fucking pie, you fucking glass of wine, fucking.
Now fuck me like I'm somebody from the Nausea Nation.
I'm
Oh.
gonna throw him in a barf. Tell me my
All
backstory.
of your white hair.
Oh, it's chunky now with white bits of it.
I love the idea that he accidentally cooks her when she's in fish form. He's like, I'm going to see you and I'll have beer batter chips.
Oh no, you gotta have sashimi. Cut that fresh. Anyway.
He's like, just descaling her graphically during the end credits.
Okay. So let's get some context. So essentially the Ice Nation at the top, been attacked by the Fire Nation. The Fire Nation's plan is to kill the Moon Spirit, which gives the Waterbenders powers. It's explained in the TV show, but not in this. Essentially, the whole world would collapse if that happens. So, the evil general, Zhao, goes to kill the fish, kills the fish, and then Uncle Iroh then attacks him. That's what's happening. While Zuko's trying to attack the Avatar, while Aang does this weird Groucho Marx routine where he's like standing behind him like in a shadow. And Zuko's like, is he over here? Is he over here? Is he in this mirror? And Aang's doing that the whole like, oh, no, I'm you, Zuko.
It's so funny. We've seen Scooby-Doo do this to monsters.
Yeah.
Like, Aang's like, I'm going to use Scooby-Doo protocol, baby.
I'm going to run through that door, and I'll come out that door, and I'll keep running through that door, and I'll run through that door. That sound effect is so funny. Like, just in any context, I absolutely love it. So then, so they kill the fish. Iroh runs away. Then Zuko attacks
this guy that kills the fish. I thought was odd casting for me because he's the main villain of this movie.
Yeah,
and like I guess of the season.
He's like a comedy actor, isn't he? He's like
yeah, and that's why I thought it was weird. I mainly know him from the Daily Show, where he's like a foreign correspondent. He's hilarious on it.
Yeah, he's in a bunch
and he's quite funny, and he's in lots of movies. And I just thought it was odd that you would hire him to be the villain of what is to be like $150 million franchise film.
It is strange, isn't it? Because he's maybe kind of threatening, and he kind of just seems like he's having a blast. He's having a bit of fun. But it is strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like the actor's enjoying himself, which I think is weird because I don't think it's right for the character.
Yeah. I know.
Like, I think he himself seems gleefully excited to be there.
It's weird.
I love that for him.
He must have been a fat fucking paycheck. I remember him, he's in the internship. So I was just like, weird he working at Google and he's anyway, he's the villain. It's strange.
An incredible film everybody's forgotten about. Everybody go rewatch The Internship.
I watched it recently. There's a lot of films I love watching, like, well, no one's watching this. It does not hold. I turned it off. It was pretty boring.
I actually think The Internship is a phenomenal kind of like background movie. Like, it's comforting in terms of how absolutely occasionally funny it is, but just warm the entire time.
Warm, not like a blanket, but just like it's warm, like in a small smoldering fire. That kind of warm, nice. Maybe I'll rewatch it in the background. Maybe I'll put it back in the background. Okay, so let's wrap this up.
Big wave. There's a big wave.
Yeah, Aang does an interpretive dance for a while. Again, throughout like in this show,
for so long.
In the show, it's kind of like, should he kill people? Should he what should he do? In this, none of that's there. I'm pretty sure the dragon at one point just goes, fucking kill them. Gets a big fucking wave and is gonna just violate every Geneva Convention known to man and kill them.
Oh, the dragons flat up like, you know what I love? Killing and pussy.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of pussy.
Yeah.
And so he's like, cool, I'm going to get all over the killing bit then. It's fucking murders.
Aang murders quite a bit.
I must say, I thought the music swelling and the visuals of the what's it called? Of the wave were good enough.
Sorry, do you know who does the music for this?
As James Newton Howard?
Whoever the composer of The Dark Knight is.
Oh yeah, yeah. He did The Dark Knight with Hans Zimmer. Hey.
Yeah. So
he does all of M.Night's.
Yeah, I was having a look, and so was the editor. This editor was the editor of Titanic.
Oh, odd.
Yeah, it's a big cast. It's very strange the background people in this one.
They spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, had it been good, think about how much it would have actually made. Like over 300 million on a movie that has a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's got a 4. It's one of the worst
audience scores.
It's one of the worst films, like top 100 worst films ever made. I would kind of put it there, kind of mainstream wise. Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, if it's like, man, that made over 300 million. Imagine if it had been good.
Yeah. Easy, like, probably. Oh, man, it would be crazy if Avatar and then The Last Airbender both, like, made a bit of money. That'd be a bit of fun.
Do you reckon James Cameron sabotaged it? He's like, there can only be one Avatar.
Yeah, cut 40 minutes, days before it's done. Stab him in the back. No bending on this one. Bam! Nausea. Ugh.
Do you reckon how they cut the 40 minutes, they like chopped the head off a chicken and wherever it landed on the film reel, that's just where they cut it?
That's how most editors work. So I don't know why you'd make a joke about that, Carl. It's a good art form, okay? Don't mock the editors.
It's how Christopher Nolan fell into Memento.
Yeah.
Like, it's all backwards. Wait a minute.
Thank God it didn't put up upside down. He would have had to follow through on that. Okay, so yeah, Aang doesn't kill everyone, but almost does. Everyone else bows and claps and goes, "You're the man, Aang. We fucking love you." It ends.
Written, produced, and directed by M.Night Shyamalan.
That is a bold thing to put on a film.
Very fucking quick right up the front.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, M.Night.
They also tease you with...
Oh, M.Night.
They tease you with the... Oh, will there be a sequel? Here's Azula. Nope. That lady's got a nice paycheck.
Yeah, I did not like her casting. I was like, I don't think I would have liked to have seen you in the next one.
I don't think so either, because she's fucking insane in the TV show, and I don't think she would have been as insane. All right. Yeah, any final thoughts on this film?
Yeah, this is an incredibly bad film. Like, really bad. It's boring and slow, and the action's horribly directed, and it's not well acted or well written. It's absolutely just the worst of its kind.
Bad adaptation as well.
Yeah, like, I mean, God, how much does it just remind you of Aragon?
It does.
I just kept on being like, God, these and like Golden Compass and stuff, where you're just like, how do you all make the same mistakes over and over again?
It just feels so passionless. It's just like nobody wants to make this. It's just like someone condensed that book or movie or TV show into a script, and then you just get the bullet points like this. Just tick those off, and if that works, then we're done. Nothing else.
Considering how good Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon
I was
is
gonna
and
say,
Life of Pi, I think Ang Lee could have fucking crushed this.
Well, even the stunts. How cool would it have been if it was like all this airbending and stuff on those like wires and stuff? It's stylized.
As if it's not wire fu.
Well,
it should be super stylized wire fu. There's a bit of wire fu in this.
I think there is, actually. That's that kind of upsetting part. There's a lot of bits where it's like flying over people. You're like, that's cool, but it looks so lame because it's not styled in that way.
Yeah, but it's just like, look at Aang fart his way out of a room, and he just goes like.
But it's like the 14 hand movements and then farts away. Yeah.
All right, Oscar. Who would watch this?
Genuinely, if you don't want to watch, I think I've given it like a half star. Like, I really dislike this film. I think because I am a fan of the show. If you're not a fan of the show, I don't know who. Like, it'd be so strange being thrusted into this world. Like, it's like all 7 Harry Potters condensed into a film. It's not gonna be good. But I guess you'd know. I guess if you want to not watch the show, but kind of know what's going on, this is for you, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. I was going to say it's for people who have read the Wikipedia of the television show, but don't want to read the Wikipedia of the film.
Oh, so if you're like, what's this film about? You could watch this film and know.
You should watch the film. Like, if you're a fan of Wikipedia and you've only read the Wikipedia of the television show, but you didn't want to read the Wikipedia summary of just the film. You would watch the film.
That's a good point. I'll add to that. If you played the Wii version of this game and you've gone, I wish there was some sort of actors to give me more brevity to this video game I'm playing, then this is what I would recommend. Who is it for? People, fans of the video game.
If your friend who keeps on trying to get you to play D&D isn't given up, you just watch this instead.
What does that solve?
We all have a friend that just want us to keep fucking playing D&D.
It seems like you have a friend that wants... Is it me? Am I pushing you? I'm not pushing you. Who's his friend, Carl?
Stop it. Stop trying to make me play D&D.
If you watch Aang the Last Airbender, I'll stop. But that's the only caveat. I swear to God. That's it.
Look, okay, I've brought it up because I want to be invited. Okay, I've written a campaign, and I want to be a part of one, and I don't understand why you're doing
Carl.
D&D.
Here's the problem: you're too goddamn cool for us. Okay, D&D's for lamos and sickos, and that's us. And you're not invited.
Cool. I guess I'll just do fucking sports then, or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Do drugs as sport. You know, something cool kids do.
All right then, Oscar. Palate cleanser. I would love to discuss that. Where. Only a month until The Kissing Booth 3. Oscar, did you watch the trailer?
I didn't watch the trailer. I feel like...
Do you know what anything to be spoiled?
I kind of don't. I will say this, though. We're going to have to, like, properly write out a summary of 1 and 2 to say before the third one. Because I don't think anyone should go and listen to the 1 and 2. I think there's bits that... We have to re-edit those. It's like... There's like one funny bit in like 2 hours of content. Don't listen. But I want people to be up to date with what we think of these characters. So we have to write something for that.
Yeah, I think if we both write what we can remember happened. No looking at Wikipedia or rewatching the films or re-listening to ourselves. No. Just fucking free ball.
Yeah. Perfect.
I'm absolutely excited. It looks like absolutely annoying. It looks like it'll go over 3 hours long. Looks like a lot of it's just shot in a summer house. How much
do we love this series? I despise it, but my God, I'm so excited.
This is my favorite. If this one lands, this will be one of the best trilogies ever.
Yeah. It's crazy how progressively it's so consistently angers me. 1 and 2 are up there. I don't know which one's so annoying. It's a powerful film.
Absolutely. They're my favorite franchise films we've done on the podcast. Like, we've done Twilights and we've done
Afters.
50 Shades of Greys and we've done Afters.
I think they're my favorite ones. They're my favorite ones to do.
All right, Oscar, what was your palate cleanser?
I watched Welcome to the Dollhouse, which is the first film from, I cannot pronounce his name. It's Todd Solondz. It's Solo DNZ. So how would you pronounce that?
I'm not going to embarrass myself. It's fine.
It's fine. I watched his film Happiness. I think it was a pellet.
Oh yeah, you did talk about Happiness,
and I absolutely loved it. And then I watched this, and it's fantastic. It's like a 1995. It's about this young girl. It's pretty much similar beats to 8th grade minus like the technology aspect of it. But yeah, she's like she's a loner like kid. Like I think she's like year 7, so not high school, but like middle school. She gets bullied all the time. It's just like really depressing, really grim, but it's like probably one of the darkest comedies I've seen. There's one like in each of his films, there's like one line that like properly takes me aback, and in this film it's one of the lines, and I won't say it on the podcast, but oh my God, I can't believe you could write that in a film and have actors say that and have it put on Sundance and loved. But I really enjoy it. I like his sort of films. I'm going through his whole catalog now, so that's quite exciting. But yeah, Welcome to the Dollhouse. Big fan of that. What about yourself, Carl?
What did I watch? I watched Perfect Blue.
Who's that by?
You ever seen Perfect Blue?
No, I haven't. What's that?
It's an anime, and it's the one that Darren Aronofsky takes like a lot.
Is it with the girl that's like lying on a bed, and that's the yeah. Never seen it, but love the poster. Big fan of the poster. If I was in a movie store, I would look at it and go, yes. Wouldn't pick it up. Go on.
Yeah. It's it's so much like Black Swan. So yeah, it's good. I know like a lot of people think this is like one of the best like psychological thrillers or animes there are. I feel like I've seen better ones, but I thought it was quite good, and I'm really keen to watch all of his other ones. I think Paprika's one that a lot of people talk about influenced Inception.
Yeah, I saw the they've got the scene where like the hallways pretty much looks exactly the same, the spinning one, and that dissolves. They've got that same shot of the window. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Looks cool.
Yeah, and then he's got like another 2 that are also super highly rated. So I'm keen to like watch that person's like filmography. But I thought Perfect Blue, a lot of fun, good. Really, I like that it's like 80 minutes.
Yeah, like quick and efficient.
Just like very quick. Yeah, there's always just like an element though to some of these like animes where there's just like something so obtusely silly, like in it. There's always just like one creative decision where you're just like, how odd. And for me, it's how they end the movie. Like literally the final line of this movie. I was like, what a tonally giant shift for you to finish
in my
this
mind,
movie
it's
on.
like a perfect film, and then just like they look to the camera like, whoop, snooped up, and it just cuts to black. Stop it.
It's pretty much that,
No,
though.
it's
pretty
not.
much that. Like, it's wild. Can I say
Yeah,
it?
I mean, spoilers. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, go spoil it. Yep.
Yeah, cool. It doesn't really have it doesn't have to, I don't have to spoil any of the plot, but it's like, it's just been a very dramatic, tense, violent, thrilling movie. And at the end, she looks up so the camera's like on the revision mirror. She looks up, she takes off her glasses and goes, nope, it's the real me. And it cuts to credits.
Oh man, this that's just wacky. I mean, I love it. But yeah, there's constantly people go, this is the greatest anime of all time. I watched what's it called? Cowboy Bebop. There's good bits in it, but some episodes, I looked on IMDb, are like 6.5. I'm like, why is this so, I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know. I won't get into it. But anyway, yeah.
The one that I love is One Punch Man. That's the one that I really back.
I heard very good things about that.
And I know lots of people do. Like, I know that's very popular. But that's the one where I'm like, oh, I get all of the hype and all of the excitement around One Punch Man. Yeah, shall we be talking about what we're going to do next week?
Yes. Next week, Carl, what are we going to be doing?
Oh my god, have we been doing this for a full year?
A whole year of our lives we've spent watching a bad movie and then talking and then editing an episode.
Every fucking
week.
Every fucking week.
So
hours upon hours we've given to you, and now you can listen to us for one fucking day and do whatever we want.
We're doing whatever we want.
So join us next week.
Yeah, so next week we're going to be looking at each other's Letterboxd reviews for each of the thousands of films that we've watched and picking apart each of our opinions on certain films.
And we've also got a delightful question and answer segment from everybody's emails that they've emailed into us, which is exciting. So we'll be answering some of your questions, guys.
Very exciting, very exciting. Well, we'll see you guys next week, and look at that, a whole year. Go us. Unless we stop.
A full year. Oh god, how funny would it be if we stopped right now before we got to...
I thought
we need to cut our ties, man.
It's done. Lockdown. You die, I'm off. Let's just get out of here. Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.